Hi, I'm Donnie Buchanan from entrycounts.com. You should watch this video if you're a business owner and you're using Xero to run your business. What we're going to look at here is creating an income statement or a profit and loss, which kind of tells a bit more of the truth about your business. Because that's the thing, right? We can get caught up in the day-to-day and we can kind of maybe neglect the financials a little bit, or we can sort of fail to understand how it's all working. So it's really, really important that you're able to run a report that actually presents to you really useful information about how your business is performing. It comes down to a lot of things, mainly the chart of accounts and how you do your processing. What I'm going to show you in this video is actually how to redesign the profit and loss or the income statement, whichever name you give it, and create more meaningful metrics or results, formulas, whatever you want to call them. They're going to show you a lot more of the truth about where your business actually is. What we're also going to look at is ways to make what we'll call adjustments. Now, an adjustment is something that, let's just say it's something outside of Xero that you want to put in, like a number. You want to add a number that you just can't do it in Xero, or you want to take it away. Okay. Then we're going to look at how to estimate how much tax you might actually have to pay based on your profit. Okay, so they're all really important items for you to know about how your business is performing and also how much tax you might have to pay for the business performance. Remember, if you're making money, you're going to pay tax. Okay, so let's get stuck into it. Now, if you want to follow me, you can. In the YouTube description box there, I've got a couple of links to a couple of documents. First one is a chart of accounts. Really, really important to have a good chart of accounts. Now, the one I've given you is a good one. It is for Australian businesses. Okay, if you're going to use it outside of Australia, wherever you are in the world, that's fine. You will have to change the tax type. You'll see a column there, tax type. Change it to the one that's in your region, which could be called tax exempt or something like that. You figure it out. The second part is I'm also giving you some example data that you can import into, say, the demo company or a free trial that you might set up. Then you'll be able to have a bit of a play and follow me from start to finish. Okay, so download those links. They're in CSV format and they're ready for you to import into Xero and set Xero up. Okay, so what we're going to work with here is we've got a couple called Mark and Jane. Now, they're both consultants. They've left corporate world and decided they're going to go out, start their own consulting business. So what they've done is they've created a company, 2 directors, 2 shareholders. Now, they've also put themselves on the payroll as employees. Okay, so they are declaring a wage. Now, look, they're running their business from home. They've decided, yeah, we can do this from home. We're gonna, have the home office, etc., and do all our online meetings, go to client appointments and things like that. So they're a kind of a modern couple doing their thing, trying to make ends meet and running their own show. I'm their virtual CFO. I'm the advisor who helps them out. I know what they want to do. I'm going to help them run this new report and understand it and use it. If they want to use it on a weekly or a monthly or a quarterly, whatever. I'm going to design this report for them so that they can know a lot more about their business and what they need to do. Okay, so just quickly before we get started, I've set up a bank account here in Xero and I've imported all that data that I've given you. Okay, so it's in this bank account here. I'll just go in here and go in here and count transactions. And what you'll see is I've imported data for the months of 30th of June 2020 back to December 19. So a good 6 to 7 months of data's in here. Okay, everything, sales, expenses, and home office rent, telephone, interest on the loan, all that type of stuff. So we've got all this data in here. The other thing I want to show you is the chart of accounts I've given you. Chart of accounts. That's also in here. That chart of accounts is also in here as well. And we've got all these different accounts that we can use. We've got lots of different revenue accounts. You can see all the different accounts there. We've got expense accounts. That's the thing about Xero, is when you sign up to the free Xero, the chart of accounts they give you is a little bit narrow. It's a bit limited. So the one I've given you here is much more extensive. Okay, there's a lot more accounts that you'll be able to use to run your business. Okay, so just to summarize, we've got data, financial transaction data in here, and we've got a really good chart of accounts. So the next step is to redesign that income statement. Let's do that now. Okay, so let's go up to the top of the page. Accounting, reports. Okay, so we're on the reports summary page here. In the financial section, I'll just go down to more reports here. What you'll notice is we want to open up the profit and loss. Now you can see that there's one here, profit and loss, and it's got the word new next to it. Okay, you'll also see another one down here, profit and loss, and it doesn't have the word new next to it. Don't touch this one. Okay, go back up to the one that is got profit and loss new and click on that. Okay, so let's go down the page here a bit. You can see for the month of June that Mark and Jane and their professional services have brought in $135,000 in revenue. And all these different expenses have been paid for out of the business. Okay, so you've got accounting, admin, advertising, digital assistants, you got some donations in there, electricity and gas, entertainment, all right. So lots of different items down there, and you can see that here's the superannuation for Mark and Jane, and there's also the wages and salaries here for Mark and Jane. Okay, so all in all, for the month, we've got a net profit of $81,000. Okay, so whilst that's good to know, we want to know a little bit more. Okay, so we want to be able to recreate results and formulas that actually tell us a little bit more. Now, the first thing we want to know is we want to know how much money this business is making before we pay Mark and Jane. So how are we going to do that? All right. Now, it's going to get technical. So I really need you to follow me and do everything that I'm about to do, and then it'll work for you, okay? This first step is removing the owners or the shareholders or directors out and putting them somewhere else, okay? Let's do that. Bottom left, edit layout. Okay, now we're in the zone. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to highlight superannuation, Mark and Jane, and I'm going to highlight wages and salaries, Mark and Jane. And I'm going to go up to the right here, group selection, and call it Mark and Jane payroll. Okay, it's Mark and Jane. I'm going to come back over here, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drag it down. Now it's underneath net profit. Okay, it's underneath net profit. Now I'm going to click on net profit, and I'm going to change that to net profit before Mark and Jane. All right, now up the top to the row icon and formula. Formula's down the bottom now. Come over here to insert, net profit before Mark and Jane minus Mark and Jane payroll. Net profit after Mark and Jane, and done. Okay, you want to get in the habit of saving drafts, so come down the bottom, save as a draft. New draft saved. Okay, so if I just go down the page now, what you'll see is that we've removed those expenses and put them down here. What that's done is it's actually shown us what the business is making before we pay Mark and Jane. Okay, so it's a little bit more of an insight into what the business is actually generating. The next step is we want to look at a little bit more about some of these expenses. Now, the thing about some of these expenses that they're paying for is that they would have been paying for them regardless of whether they're in business or not. For example, rent. Rent for business, that's their home rent. They're working from home. Okay, so they would have paid that regardless. So it kind of distorts the net profit. It kind of makes it go, well, hold on for a minute. Well, we've really got to take that out of the equation because it's not really related to the business. Okay, there's a few other items in there as well. There's like the motor vehicle expense. Look, probably some of it's related to the business, but the majority of it is actually related to them just living their lives. Also, entertainment. That's more about the stuff that they do when they go out on the weekend. They've just put it in an account in here. Okay, so I want to grab a few of these accounts. You know, telephone as well. They have a telephone. They pay for the telephone. They may use some of it for business, but they would have paid for it anyway. Okay, so you get the picture. All these things they would have paid for anyway. Let's bring those out next. Okay, so back down to the bottom left again, edit layout. Okay, a few here. We've got donations, electricity, entertainment, motor vehicle, and rent. Okay, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to call them just other expenses, and we'll also say they could be what we call tax deductions. Let's get to that later. But right now, I'm just going to drag them all the way down the bottom, right underneath that there. So now our bottom should look like this. Okay. Final thing, as you might have guessed, is we want to throw a formula right down the bottom because we really need to know what the final result is. So it's net profit after Mark and Jane minus those other tax deductions, business profit, and done. So as we go down the page here, what you'll see now is, now these expenses here are unavoidable business expenses. Okay, that's the thing, that's the difference. We can't generate income without these expenses. They're a key part of the business. All right, so really what we're looking at here now is actual profit of the business. That's it there. It was a lot different before. Now it's 120. Okay, now we come down here and we've got, okay, so we made that much, then we paid that much to the key employees. Then there's that much left. So that's kind of what we might call the company profit. The profit of the company is about 87 grand. Now the thing about these items down here is, look, some of them will be what they call a tax deduction. They may have to get split out into percentages. You know, we might claim sort of half the rent, or we might claim, you know, half the motor vehicles, or just a part of everything you see down here. Okay, so that's the value of putting it down here, is we get to choose what to do next as far as estimating what we're going to call taxable income. Okay, so what we'll do next is we'll actually save this as what we call a template that we can run anytime we log into Xero. So the final step is to come down here, save as, custom. Okay, if you ever want to find this report, you've got to come back up to accounting and go to reports, and it's a custom, click on custom. It's a custom report. You've custom designed it. Okay, so I might just put a star on it. A star now means that it's available from the accounting tab. There it is right there. Okay, so let's open that up again. Okay, so what we want to do next is we want to figure out how much tax is payable. This is also going to get a little technical, so you really need to follow me once again. Let's get down into edit layout. Okay, up the top, the schedule icon, schedule. Get rid of total, get rid of the numbered, make it credit positive, and let's call it taxable income. Okay, then go back up the top. I want two groups, 1, 2. First one, tax adjustments. Second one, tax rate. Okay, what we want to do here is now insert 4 what we call customs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then down in tax rate, we want to insert 1 custom. Okay, then we want to insert a formula. That formula is tax adjustments times tax rate. Let's call it estimated tax payable. Okay, then back here we're going to name these 4. Okay, so the first one we're going to name it net business profit. Second one, losses from other periods. Next one, tax add backs. Next one, tax deductions. But then down here, this one here is tax rate hyphen percentage. Okay, then we're going to go up the top and we're going to click done. All right, so now what we have down the bottom here is the ability for us to make what we might call some adjustments to the items that are up here in Xero. Okay, so all these amounts here are coming in from Xero, from all the transactions for the period. Okay, we can't really change those. Well, we can go back and change them depending on what we're trying to achieve. But what we're going to do here with this report is we're just going to say, you know what, I'm just going to do it really quickly and easily by adding in, you know, let's look above, and the net profit for the business is 81150. And look, you might have a loss from another period, like the year before or something like that. You can put that in here, you know, minus $15,000. Okay, what you'll notice is we've got adjustments going on here, and it's actually adjusting the profit, helping us with taxable income. All right, so we could add back some amounts, or we could deduct some amounts. We could say, you know what, even though these, like, even though the rent is actually related to the home, we could say let's remove half of it. Okay, let's remove half of the rent. We could go mine, you know, we could go $1,000. Okay, now the profit's gone up. Okay, so we've added back half the rent because, you know, you see what I mean? We've got all these options for doing this type of stuff. All right, so what we'll do next is we're looking at a different profit here. We've now got taxable income of $67,150. Now in Australia, the tax rate is 27.5% for companies. So the way to enter that here is actually to go 0.275. Okay, and then what you'll notice is that Xero has said, well, based on $67,150 and the tax rate, then the estimated tax payable for that month is $18,466.25. Okay, so that's the key, is this part, this taxable income part down the bottom here, it actually helps you understand how much tax is payable. Now, look, see these adjustments here, you might even not have to use them. Okay, for example, we could just get rid of that, and just get rid of that, and just get rid of that, and we can just put in the net business profit, and then that'll calculate the 27.5%, and that'll put the result down there. So there's a number of ways you can use it. The most important thing is, now I'll just clear that. What I'll do is I'll quickly save this as our taxable income statement. Okay, so it's another report that we can use if we need to. What this video was all about was basically helping you understand how you can redesign the profit and loss or the income statement to be more purposeful for you. If you need any help with anything, just shoot me an email, donnie@entrycounts.com, or jump on my website, entrycounts.com, and book me. Happy to help you out, no problems whatsoever. Have an awesome day. Take good care of yourself. Be good. Goodbye. Take care. Thank you.